Good morning. Welcome once again to Fort Meade Focus. I'm Donna Renfroe, your host, with you with this focus program for this wonderful Sunday, bringing you the latest issues in our county, things to talk about, and events that are happening in Polk County each week over 98.3 WWRZ FM. Well, I hope you're having a great week. And are you ready for some good art? You know, we have a lot of arts here in Polk County: theater, visual arts, dance. We have some good plays and good theater. And would you like to laugh a little bit? Well, I have a treat for you this morning. My guest is writer, author, musical theater composer Dan Goggin. And he wrote the play. If you don't know, he wrote the very famous play and sequels Nunsense. He's going to be speaking to us today from Maine. I want to say good morning and welcome, Dan.
Thank you so much. It's great to talk to you.
Yes, and you're ready to play is just underway this weekend. Is it? And it is Nunsense?
Yes, it's Nunsense. We're up here in Portland, Maine. A bunch of us, the whole cast came from New York City, and we've been doing previews, and so far we've gotten a standing ovation at every preview, so we're hoping we can keep up our record, and we open tomorrow night here in Portland, and the ticket sales have been so good they've extended the show 3 times.
That is so good to hear, something that's long running from a writer, and I just can't wait for our listeners to hear a little bit about you and how you got your start writing this fabulous play. And it's coming here to our county, so get ready because it's coming, and it will be in our northeast section of Polk County in the Davenport area. It's going to be at the Theater Works Playhouse, Florida Theater, actually. Theater Works Florida Theater. Let me get that right. And it's in Davenport. And I'm going to give that address and say that again a little bit later. It is in Polk County. It's maybe new to some of you, but we're going to talk about it. But let's get right to Dan and your work. Writer, composer, lyricist. How fun. You got a start in Broadway. You've been on Broadway. You sang.
So I started out as a singer, that's right. And I was in the Broadway show Luther, which starred Albert Finney. That was my real beginning. And then after that show finished, I put together a comedy singing group with one of the guys who was in Luther, and that's actually when I started dabbling at writing, and it seemed to work. And over the years, everything just moved right into the musical comedy writing.
Oh, that is such a great genre and not easy to do, I would think. You apparently have a great knack for it. And yeah, go ahead. Were you going to?
Yeah, no, somehow I just was able to, key in on something that worked for me and seemed to work for everybody else. So it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of ability, but when you put it all together, it just kind of worked, and who knows why.
That's right. Well, before we go into some of the play, because I know some of our audience probably know some of the names, maybe a few of the songs, and just the names of some of the nuns, but they say we hear about writers, write what you know. Now, there's some link in here to this play, and that is that you were schooled. You went to Catholic schools. Is that correct?
Right, with the Dominican Sisters.
Okay, and then tell us. I would like our audience to hear a little bit about the underlying, how you might have written this play. You have a seminarian background as well, right?
I was in the seminary in high school, and then, as I said, been taught by the Dominican Sisters, and the sisters we just had a great sense of humor. And so eventually, years later, when I wrote Nunsense, the 5 characters in the show, the personalities are based on 5 different nuns who taught me. And they actually know, or at the time, I think there's only 1 or 2 that are still living, but when the show came out, almost 30-some years ago, they all knew about it, and they were thrilled to death to be a part of it. They loved the idea that they would be part of this comedy.
They must have had a great time. And some of you may know the play The musical theater play is built around the Little Sisters of Hoboken, and it kind of starts out that you think, oh, maybe all is going just great, but they have a cook, and I love this play on words, Sister Julia, comma, child of God, Julia Child, right? So I just love that when I relooked at that, and she apparently has, I'm not sure if it's accidentally poisoned some vichyssoise, and so a few of the maybe you can pick it up from there, Dan, and tell us a little bit.
Yeah, they had to. It was definitely an accident, and 52 of the sisters accidentally died in the soup, and it wasn't as sad a thing as would be because their feeling was, they all went to heaven, but they had 4 sisters that they didn't have enough money to bury. And they had to raise the money. And when we talked about it, it sounds like, oh my gosh, what a creepy show.
Yeah, right.
But it's actually just totally zany and silly. It's kind of like I Love Lucy would be, or comedies today. And so the show itself has nothing to do with religion. And the show is presented in real time. They're presenting it as a benefit. It's their first show on a stage that they've performed, and they're trying to raise money, to bury these last 4 sisters. And I won't tell you too much more about that because you want it to be a surprise for the audience. But the happenings in the show are just crazy fun, and it's all about getting the audience to laugh and forgetting the troubles of the day and whatever bad news is on the TV or the radio, and just have 2 hours to forget all your troubles and make you feel better going out than when you came in.
Well, that's right. That's what this program is about, Dan, and I just think it's great you're joining us. This is Dan Goggin, writer, composer, lyricist, musical theater, wrote the wonderful play Nunsense, which you are going to be able to see when you get your tickets, and we're going to tell you how. It's going to be at Theater Works Florida Theater in Davenport coming up in September, and Dan is joining us from Maine, where he and the actors are getting ready to put on this wonderful show already up in Portland, Maine. And tell us some of the names of these cute sisters that we're going to see in the play.
Well, there's some that are kind of traditional to people,
right?
Like, the Mother Superior, Sister Mary Regina, and her novice mistress that works with her named Sister Mary Hubert. But then we have a nun named Sister Mary Amnesia. Yeah. That usually turns out to be everybody's favorite nun. She's a nun who a crucifix fell on her head, and she doesn't remember who she is. And she truly is the wackiest character, and people just adore her because half of the time she doesn't know what she's saying, and she does a quiz with the audience, which is, I think, one of the most fun, enjoyable things. It's hilarious to see her to work with these people. And, of course, it's different every night because you never know who she's going to call on. But I will say, too, that for people who are nervous about that, they don't have to worry because she never calls on anybody who doesn't raise their hand. So for the people who want to be a part of the show, she goes to them. So you don't have to sit there in stark terror that she's going to come and get you. But she's really one of the most fun characters. And then another one, which people enjoy, her name is Sister Robert Ann, and she's a streetwise girl from Brooklyn who joined the convent. And when she was a girl, she was in a gang. And so she's one of these sisters who she just irritates the Mother Superior, but in the most fun way.
I think we can all identify somewhere along the line. And that sounds fun. And as you said, sometimes people do get scared if there's some audience interaction or, interplay going on, and they shouldn't be. So I think that makes it real interesting to have a bit of interactive play going on. Well, just so fun. Out of this play, Nunsense, there were 6 sequels and 3 spinoffs, and our artistic director up at Theater Works Florida in Davenport, Scott Cook, says, hey, we're going to do more sequels as time goes on. That's what his plan is. He wants to start out with the original Nunsense and then move on at some point and go into their other seasons. So this is the 2nd season, he said. So we'll give you some, we'll ask you to go to that go to their website and see how you can buy your tickets, and remind you again in a little bit. So, well, Dan, you've just had a lot of fun with this over the years, and what inspires you to keep on writing and doing, producing, and being involved?
It's just been one of those things that it's so much fun, and working with the cast, it's every day, it's laughs and good times, and people just really enjoying each other. And it's been fascinating that with almost all the Nunsenses, even ones that I'm not involved with at all, you hear from them afterward how it's like, oh, we became such a family, and after the show is over, the nuns still get together and go to dinner or go to the movies or something like that. It's been a fascinating experience how the show brings people together. And as I say, the people we have up here in Maine are people that I've worked with in the past, and we're kind of like this little gypsy group that came up here and put on a show. And it seems to just give everybody a really great feeling. We've even had musicians in the show say how much fun they love to come play the show because, just hearing the people laugh every night is so uplifting. So it's just been a wonderful experience, and people seem to, once they learn about the characters, when they come to the sequels, it's like just coming back to see old friends and see what they're up to these days.
Right.
So it's been a great experience, going from show to show.
Mm-hmm. And laughter, as you said, laughter, so good for us. A few of the titles from these songs that you've written. Let's see. So You Want to Be a Nun, A Word from Reverend Mother. That's sung by Sister Mary Regina. So these, your actors have to be able to sing too, right? Triple threat kind of thing.
Oh yeah, they're all excellent singers. And Sister Hubert is an incredible gospel singer. And and we have a variety. The Sister Leo, who is a young novice, is actually a ballerina, and she wants to be the first ballerina nun. And she says, I've entered the convent to devote my life to God as a dancer. And she has a wonderful number in the show, Dancing on Point. And as soon as she gets up on point, the audience starts applauding. She's quite amazing.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Now, does that song correlate the Dying Nun Ballet? Does that happen to Cora?
That's what she does in the second act,
okay.
Which is also a hilarious comedy ballet that we just get the biggest kick out of watching her do.
Oh, I can't wait. Again, we are talking with Dan Goggin, writer, composer, busy in Portland now, putting on Nunsense. He's the creator of Nunsense, and it's going to be here in Polk County, and we want to go and laugh and have a good time. So you'll be going to theaterworksfl.org and get some information. And again, Dan, you've seen this over the years. This play started off Broadway. We do have a lot of people here in Lakeland who go to see plays because we've had quite a few students from our performing arts school here, particularly Harrison, who've gone on. One won a Tony, Karen Olivo in West Side Story. We have others. We have one now on Broadway doing show after show. He's a triple threat named Uriel Echeverria, graduated from our Harrison as well. We have other parents going up to see their kids over the years. One just returned. She did a lot of touring Broadway shows. Elizabeth Burton. We just have a lot of talent here and a lot of interest. And I think people are going to want to go see this show. And it's so great to speak with someone who's had the experience there. This show started 1985.
1985, yes, and we won the Outer Great Circle Award for the Best Musical.
Oh, boy. Well, you don't want to miss it. We are down to, let's see. Yes, it's almost 1 minute left. So I don't want to leave out a little bit of word of inspiration for you. Then I'll close with that website again so people will know where to go and when they can see this. So
just everybody needs to know that it's all about laughter. You don't have to be Catholic. You don't have to be anything. It has nothing to do with religion. It's just 2 hours of solid, fun comedy with some crazy nuns. And I hope everybody gets a chance to come out and see it.
I do too. Dan Goggin joining us again from Maine. Thank you so much. Thank you for your work and creativity. And we just want everyone to go see the show September 7th through 16 here in Polk County in Davenport, East Polk County Theater Works, Florida. theaterworksfl.org and get your tickets and check in. Thank you again, Dan, and join us again next week for another program about your Polk County. And again, we've been talking about Nunsense, so we don't want any of you to miss it. And have a great show up there in Maine. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.